Gary Cooper, the strong, silent type. He wasn't in touch with his feelings. He just did what he had to do. See, what they didn't know was once they got Gary Cooper in touch with his feelings, that they wouldn't be able to shut him up. And then it's dysfunction this and dysfunction that. We're soldiers, you know. Soldiers don't go to hell. It's war. Soldiers, they kill other soldiers. We're in a situation where everybody involved knows the stakes. And if you're going to accept those stakes, you got to do certain things. It's business. We're soldiers.
Hey, what's up, guys? I wanted to take a second to remind you, please hit that subscribe button, and if you like what we're doing and want to make a donation, you can do that via Cash App at American Made Channel. Now, let's jump into the video.
By 2019, Sonny Franzese was out of prison and living in a nursing home.
I had a hell of an experience in life, I'll tell you the truth.
The word legend is used much too often nowadays, but when it comes to the world of organized crime, it is a word that best describes Colombo crime family's Sonny Franzese. Sonny Franzese lived over a century, and in my opinion, was the best example of true Cosa Nostra. Sonny was born in Naples in 1917 and became involved with the Mafia during the 1930s. He would become a captain in the Colombo crime family and eventually elevated to underboss under Joe Colombo until being sentenced to 50 years for allegedly orchestrating several bank robberies across the country. During his incarceration, Sonny encouraged his son, Michael Franzese, to become a part of the life, to be in a better position to work towards an appeal. Michael would be proposed for membership and eventually became a made man in the Colombo family.
But I grew up with my father, who was a very high-profile guy in the 60s. And I love my dad very much. And he went through several trials in the 60s until finally he got convicted on a major federal case and sentenced to 50 years in prison. He was the John Gotti of his day. Very, very high profile. He was a captain in the Colombo family. He had worked his way up to underboss. He was Joe Colombo's underboss for a time. And I learned a lot from my dad. He was, a master at this life. He was known as an enforcer. My dad was a pretty tough guy, but he was also, he was very charismatic. He was a good presence in that life.
Sonny was eventually paroled in 1978, but would return to prison several times over the next few years. In 2005, Sonny would return to the position of underboss in the Colombo family, until he was convicted of extortion in 2011. His youngest son, John Franzese Jr., would wear a wire and eventually testify against his father, becoming the first son of a New York City mobster to testify against his father.
Last night, we introduced you to John Franzese. He's a former New York City mobster who landed here in Indianapolis via the Witness Protection Program in 2006.
And tonight we take a closer look at why John decided to do what he was told you never do his whole life. Cooperate with the FBI and become what the Mafia calls a rat.
I didn't become an informant to get out of jail.
So in early 2005, John agreed to wear a wire and record hundreds of hours of conversations that he had with other members of the mob, including his father, notorious mob boss, Sonny Franzese. John would go on to do the unthinkable, testify against his own father.
I looked at my dad and I did feel like I felt very sad for him for that moment of what it might feel like for him. Seeing me on the stand.
In the end, Sonny Franzese, then 93 years old, was sentenced to 8 years in prison for extortion. As for John, he entered into witness protection and landed here in Indianapolis.
In 2017, Sonny would be released from prison at the age of 100, making him the oldest inmate and member of Cosa Nostra in America.
I could go to sleep nights and talk to myself. It upsets unless me realize all the years I did in jail for something I never did. Couldn't believe it. Money I gave guys No one of them sent me a dime. They're all deathly afraid.
Of who?
Huh?
Who were they afraid of?
I don't know. They were afraid of themselves because they knew they were weak. So they figured maybe I might weaken. But I can't weaken. I can't hurt people for no reason. I can't do it. Me, I never murdered nobody. Let me ask you, a face like that, could he be a murderer? You know that? If I tell you, you won't believe it. Prison guards, officials come up to me, telling me, you know something? I went through your whole case. You don't rat on cops. You don't rat on nobody. He said, if I'd have committed a crime, I'd come and look for you. May God strike me dead. But, you know, I learned one thing. Determination is stronger than anything. You know? Make up your mind to do something, you do it.
In 2020, the legend known as Sonny Franzese passed away at the age of 103, ending an almost century-long career in the American Mafia.
You want to know how I did the time? He said, yeah, one day at a time.